We believe that we can change the world. We believe that everyone on the face of the planet could use Evernote at some point, right? Now we're a long way away from that, but we have 85 million users now, and it's growing quickly. And as people start getting value out of the product, we think that that's only going to grow quicker. So that's really our mission, is to become this 100-year startup. And the reason that we didn't say a 100-year company is we want to always have kind of a startup culture. We always want to have a culture where innovation is rewarded, failure is part of that process, and we never want to become an older company that only cares about the short term. We always want to be able to look for the long term and be able to innovate as a result. So that's why we kind of keep the startup moniker there. We have a very simple direct business model, and this is, I think, important to our philosophy going forward, and I'll mention a little bit about what we see going forward. But our business model is we only get revenue when people pay us and they know that they're paying us. So it's pretty simple. So like someone says, wow, I'm using Evernote, getting some use out of it, seems pretty cool, I may need a extra feature or two, so I'm actually going to pay like a subscription fee to have Evernote Premium. Or I'm in a business and I want to have Evernote Business for my whole team. You know, that is how we make money. We actually also sell physical products as well. It's a very small part of our business, and it's mainly just because a lot of our users, remember the crazy people that I told you about? Like they want to have an Evernote backpack, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, we needed to make sure that they didn't kind of overrun the gates and that they had kind of like cool stuff that they could be happy about and have. So that's our business model, and that's an important thing, because a lot of people, when we talk with people in the business sense, the assumption is that we do advertising, and that's how we make our money. And we've made an explicit choice not to do advertising. And the reason being is we're asking you guys, our users, to trust us with your data and information. And if we're monetizing that in ways like advertising and selling information about you to other companies, that kind of breaks that trust cycle, and it would cause you to use it less and probably cause you to move on. So we've made a very explicit and important decision, because we could be making a lot of money on advertising, but we've made a very important decision not to do that, so that we're not in conflict with our users. We're exactly on the same page with our users. So I've already mentioned we have 85 million users, and this is kind of our footprint worldwide. As a startup out of Silicon Valley particularly, we went international very, very early. I've been with Evernote for about 3 years now. I believe I was the first, no, actually we hired our Japan GM first, and then I came second. So we've been going international for quite a while, and 70% of our users, new users, are coming from international. And it's just beyond obvious to us that we're an international company. And that's something that we've chosen to recognize very early on. We have an open API so that developers can connect into the Evernote application. We can't do everything. We want devs to essentially tie into Evernote and make Evernote more valuable and make their application more valuable as a result. We have a Dev Cup every year, which is kind of a development competition worldwide. And look at this representation from APAC: South Korea, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. And I think Hong Kong won it the year prior, the same team, and they came in with a new entry. These guys are rock stars. But it's just a couple of guys that are just making awesome apps, and they tie into Evernote directly, and they're making a good living at it. So it's neat for us to see them be able to make a living off of tying into our ecosystem. So as I mentioned, we got into physical products for people that really want them. It was kind of a controversial decision for us. A lot of people are like, what the hell? What are you doing? You know? especially in the investment world and just kind of all those implications, right? I mean, these are low margin products compared to our software product, as you can imagine. But what we're doing is creating an ecosystem. This scanner, the Evernote Edition Scan Snap Scanner, which is done by Fujitsu, again, another major partnership of ours. You can put a bunch of different types of paper into it, so receipts, business cards, contracts, whatever, and you can actually program it to say, I want all my business cards to go to this notebook, I want all my receipts to go to that notebook, etc. So you just take that big pile of crap off of your desk, throw it through there, and it all goes into Evernote and isn't perfectly organized, but generally organized, right? And remember, I told you the beauty of Evernote is once you scan those in, you can search by keyword for any text within those images. So you don't have to enter in anything, which is brilliant. This is just kind of another instance of our marketplace that we have on all of our applications. But this stylus has been just an amazing addition to the marketplace for us. We did this in conjunction with Adonit, and it is the first fine tip stylus on the marketplace. So it's actually like a ballpoint pen as opposed to the fat eraser kind of, rubbery kind of thing that we're all used to for stylus. So that has been, it's by far our biggest seller, and it's really a great experience writing on the iPad in our application called Penultimate. Okay, so last of all, and then I'll get more to kind of the future-looking thing here. Evernote Business. We created something called Evernote Business that allows people to work in groups better with Evernote. And that was just kind of an evolution of we needed it as a company ourselves as we grew. So we decided to create it and use it ourselves. And now we have it in the marketplace for about a year. And I just met this morning with one of our new Evernote Business clients out here in Hong Kong. And it's just been really, really well received because a lot of our users already are using Evernote in a business context. They're already using it for work. This just kind of formalizes things and makes it a little more easy to use in a business situation. Okay, so that's Evernote. I want to talk a little bit about the future. My clock says it's 2:07 a.m. How are we doing on time? Should I be tired?
It's 2:07 a.m.
It is 2:07 a.m. Okay. Okay,
and
good.
I swarm people.
I've just been informed that the future is going to get turned off.
When?
No, listen, this is not a joke, this is serious. Varun just came up to me, he said that at 6:20 the lights will go off in this room. Apparently this is part of the Hong Kong government money-saving scheme.
Do you have the flashlight app?
Yes, exactly. So I don't want to interrupt the future, but before the future gets turned off, please all be... It's happening, right?
Yeah, but we're just going to get it done quickly. It's just going to go off for like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
You said 10 minutes. All right, anyway. I'm going to pretend it's 10 minutes. So if the lights go off, you can turn around and kiss the person next to you. You can do whatever you want to. But get your phones ready, okay?
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Talking about the future and the lights are going to go out. We can't stop it. In the future, I predict that we will be able to stop such an event. Okay, so the future. I talked about our business model, and I think that this is an important thing, and this is something that we see happening, and you guys have probably seen. Some of you may be a little too young to remember MySpace. How many people remember MySpace? Okay, so about half of you. Okay. So there was this social network called MySpace that was like freaking awesome. Like everyone was on it. Like if you weren't on it, you weren't cool type of a thing. Sound like something you know? Exactly. GeoCities. Oh man, thank you. Freaking Cities. I forgot about GeoCities and GeoCities. So there were these social networks that were just like groundbreaking, right? And they were just unstoppable. I mean, they were like Facebook, like amazing companies, and everyone was there, and the future was bright, and the growth curve was like this. But what happens with these business models where you get kind of advertising kind of entwined into this social graph and stuff like that is as these social networks start to mature, okay? And what do I mean by that? At first, when you get on a social network, all your cool friends are there, right? Then suddenly your aunt shows up. You're like, what the hell? Aunt Mildred is like on, you know, GeoCities or whatever, right? And suddenly it's not cool, right? So you kind of hear right now, and I come from a very mature marketplace, the US, for Facebook, right? That's where Facebook launched and stuff. And you're already starting to see that. Like, you're seeing a lot of news reports coming out, like, oh, Facebook's losing the young kids, you know, like the high schoolers are too cool for Facebook, and what are they going to do? Well, the cool thing is Facebook is smart. So they're doing some really cool stuff. They bought Instagram, which is freaking brilliant. They bought WhatsApp, freaking brilliant, right? And what these social networks of times past did not do, they had hubris, they had too much pride, and they thought that they would just keep growing like that forever. But what happens is when Aunt Mildred gets on there, you have this tipping point that happens, and it literally just falls off a cliff and goes away. And it's unbelievable to us because they were so powerful at one point. Right? So I'm already starting to see this, not just me, but a lot of us in the US are already starting to see this. Like, I check into Facebook 2 times a week now. Like, I've actually scheduled it out. And I only do it on the desktop, which is a big change. Okay? So the tides of change are here, and the reason that I talk about this when I talk about the future, and you guys going out and possibly building companies of your own, you need to be cognizant of the business model that you pursue and what the inherent risks are. So when you get into this game of trying to inject enough advertising so that you can make good money, but not enough that you piss people off and they leave. So now I've got Aunt Mildred in there, and I've got some drug company telling me that I need some drug, and then I've got, suddenly it's not as relevant to me personally. And that's a dangerous proposition. So you have these conflicts of interest. You have these different stakeholders. You've got the advertisers who want their ads to be effective. You've got the company who wants to make money. And then you've got the users who just want to be left alone and like hang out with their friends. Right? There's a lot of conflicts in there. And those are things that need to be dealt with. But I think the brilliance of Facebook and what they're showing is that they're willing to eat their own lunch to move forward and be a relevant company going forward. So they're doing it right. Zuckerberg just, by the way, I saw Zuckerberg on the street the other day. It's like so surreal. It's awesome. I was like getting ready to eat lunch, and he's just in his hoodie, just on his cell phone, like just walking by like this. And I'm like, dude, that's Zuckerberg. You know? Like, it's awesome. I just moved to Silicon Valley like a year and a half ago, so I'm still kind of like, starstruck by that kind of stuff. No bodyguard. He's just alone, and he's just all, talking. I wish I could have heard, like, what is he talking about? He's probably telling his wife to, like, water the garden or something. But the thing, Zuckerberg just sat down at Mobile World Congress is going on right now in Barcelona, right? So the mobile world, all these titans of industry are in Barcelona talking about the future. Well, guess what? Zuckerberg just bought WhatsApp. And guess what? WhatsApp is eating the lunch of these mobile networks. So I actually have done a lot of deals with mobile carriers, right? So I've talked with a lot of them. And they're scared as hell. And they just met with Zuckerberg. I think the CEO of Telefonica, the CEO of Orange, the CEO of one or two other major companies, which, by the way, all combined are worth less than Facebook. Are things changing? I mean, who would think that companies that have that much power could be unseated and suddenly on the ropes by this stupid internet thing, right? To who? Encore?
Hong Kong.
Oh, Hong Kong Telecom. I've never spoken with Hong Kong Telecom. I can neither confirm nor deny. But business models are important, and they're changing daily, and you got to be able to eat your own lunch. There was a time, where you could just kind of go through your business school and stuff and go out into the world and do your thing for 20 years and you didn't really have to progress? Well, let me tell you, as soon as you graduate, you're irrelevant and you better keep studying to stay relevant. I mean, that's the world. It's a crazy fast world out there now. 360-degree screen. This is the last kind of future forward-looking thing that I'll talk about. What we're seeing is, as I said, we're an app that's pretty much everywhere, and our goal is to be everywhere. So we're going to be in your car, we're going to be on your refrigerator, we're going to be on your, whatever wearable you have. And we are at really the cutting edge, design-wise and development-wise, of figuring out what that experience should be. So when we went to mobile at first, all we did is we took these desktop-based browser applications, right? And we just kind of shrunk them down and put them on the mobile. Like, that was the first iteration of mobile. Now the mobile experience is its own thing, and it's really amazing. But now that we have watches, we have pendants around people's necks, we've got, who knows, shoes or whatever's coming down the line, there needs to be a different experience that people have with these things that's contextually relevant at the time. So you come into a meeting and you get a notification on your watch that someone's calling, so you don't have to pull out your phone, things like that. And we're also working a lot on predictive technology, so tying in with your calendar. And when you go into a meeting and you open up your notebook, there's Evernote with a note already titled for that meeting, and you just start typing. So a lot of predictive kind of AI type things that we're working on as well. But this whole 360-degree screen view that is coming on board. Have you guys ever seen like a picture of the Tesla or seen a Tesla? The screen in there, it's like a 17-inch screen. The thing is beyond huge. And now they're going to be coming out with apps for it. So that's going to open up a whole nother thing. And again, Elon Musk, who's like Iron Man, is leading the way. And soon you'll see all the other car companies creating app ecosystems for their cars. So that's coming very, very soon. And we're, as a company, wondering, what does that mean for Evernote? Like, what does that mean? How do we deal with that? How do we make it relevant? So I will leave you with that. And I don't think I have time for questions, do I? I do. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, I'll use this. Hello. It's working.
Excellent. Thanks, Troy.
The lights didn't go off.
You don't have to clap yet because he hasn't finished. No, they have to go on before they go off, otherwise it has no effect.
Okay.
You've got to waste power before you can kill it.
I understand.
So, just to warm you guys all up, I have a question. We have some questions here. We're looking right into the future. If you're saying all of this gadgetry, like fridges and cars and clothes, in 100 years, 95 years from now, when you've stopped being a startup, can I just outsource all my memories to you? Can I just like stay at home and